it's Cass and welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted anything in like a super long time because I've been pretty busy with school and work and a bunch of other things, but that's besides the point. I'm back now, right? I am here today to talk to you about my experience in Pittsburgh meeting Dan and Phil, and just that day in general because it was super insane and wild and I was not expecting half of what happened at all. Without further ado, I am going to talk to you about my experience meeting Dan and Phil. So, that day in general it just started out pretty normal. My boyfriend at the time, that's coming, and I drove to Pittsburgh to Heinz Hall for the Interactive Introverts show. We got there and immediately saw like their tour buses parked across the street from Heinz Hall, and it was pretty cool to see because I saw the merch team unloading boxes and I saw Dan and Phil's tour bus. Then we kind of just went and got something to eat, and then we walked to Point Park, which is down the street from Heinz Hall basically, and it was very hot. I was already sweating. And we got to this point where it was like this path going back through like some trees, and it was really pretty. All of a sudden, I hear Hank go, "Hey Cass," and I turn around and I see him down on one knee, pulling out a ring, and asking me to marry him. And I said yes. After that, like, we got our pictures taken, and by just a couple people that were walking by. They were really happy for us, and it was such a weird feeling because I don't like attention drawn to me at all. We just kind of wandered around a little bit, sat by the fountain, and we walked back towards Heinz Hall, and I was really sweating at this point, and I was just like out of breath and like just so like shocked, and it was incredible. Not too much happened after that, but we just decided to go back to the car for a little bit, and then we went to Heinz Hall to start just waiting for the whole VIP experience to begin, which itself was actually really nice. Around 4:30? No, around 4. I don't remember. It was a blur. They started letting us in, and like they gave us our wristbands, and we went down the stairs, and there was like a sign that said like private reception, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening. And like me and a few other girls were in there along with Hank, and Mary Ann was there. I got to see Mary Ann and talk to her, and she was super nice and made the process go extremely smoothly. Thank you, Mary Ann. I love you. And then Hank and I ended up being pushed to the front of the line. We were the very first people in line to meet Dan and Phil. It was crazy and insane. And I was just like, you know what? I'll be the first person to meet Dan and Phil here. That's fine. It didn't even feel real, so I was just like accepting it at this point. Then we were standing there, and then a few minutes later they come down the stairs, and I'll insert my video here of that happening. And of course there was a pillar in the way whenever they first came down the stairs, but I'll show you that video here. And then this was the moment that it was happening, that I was the very first one in line. And so Hank and I went around together. Mary Ann took our stuff that we wanted signed. Hank took this video of me meeting them and well, he didn't get me hugging Phil, but hugging Dan, and then just talking to them. And Mary Ann handed Phil the calendar that we brought to get signed, and Hank wanted that one signed because it was the Star Wars one. And I don't have it with me because Hank has it, but I'll show a picture of it. And let you hear what Dan is gonna say about that in the video. And I'll put in subtitles in case you can't hear him. But it was so funny.
Oh, yes, very good choice of fashion. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I forgot that this cursed image existed. Oh, I'm so sorry that we ruined stuff. So cute.
So yeah, and then I had him sign like my drawings. I have them actually here with me. This is my Phil one, if you can see it. And then the Dan one. I got those signed and I still need to like frame them or something. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them exactly, but they're very special to me. I got a selfie with them and I'll put that selfie in. And then I asked them both if I could do a pose with them, and for that pose, I told them that my boyfriend had proposed to me that day only like a couple hours ago. So, if we could recreate it and like he could like pretend to propose to me again and they could act like surprised and like shocked and stuff, and Dan like thought that was the funniest thing and he's like, yeah, absolutely. I had the security guard take a picture of that and this is what happened with that, and it blew up on Twitter afterwards whenever I posted it because Phil replied to it saying like, congrats to you both. And I was losing my ever-loving mind at this point. Like, I was just like, what is happening? My phone wouldn't stop blowing up. I was like having some anxiety. It was crazy. I also got some merch, and I got like the marble t-shirt, which is the comfiest shirt that I've ever worn in my life. And I also got the hoodie, which is also the comfiest thing I've ever worn in my life. But yeah, we got merch. We kind of just hung out for a while, and then it was time for the show to start. Now, normally I wouldn't say much about the show because of spoilers, but this one particular part made me feel even more that the day was not real and not happening. If you don't want spoilers, I'll try not to spoil anything. Like, it's not really a huge spoiler because they've said that they wanted to get like more real with their audience, so there was a part where they were talking like just sitting down and talking with us about like things that people had sent in like as questions. So the one question was like about a girl whose brother was getting married and she was best friends with him and was afraid that their relationship would change due to the marriage. So Dan and Phil were kind of like talking about that, and then like a few seconds later, Dan said, we actually had 2 people in our audience get like engaged tonight, like today. And I was like, that's us. Like, I couldn't see Dan because like the speaker on the stage was in the way, but I saw Phil and he was like looking for us, so Hank and I were just like, hi. They were like saying like congrats like again, and then like Dan said, you two are literally so adorable. I would be happy to be the 3rd person in your marriage. Yeah. So Dan invited himself to my wedding. So, yeah, my plan is to actually invite them for my wedding, which is hopefully going to be next year. We're having some complications finding a place to get married. So, when that time comes, I'll let you know. But, like, the entire time that was happening, I was, like, not even processing that it was happening. I was like, they're talking to us. Oh my god, they're talking to us. Like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, oh my god. I was like, and then like whenever Dan said that, like Hank was just like, yeah, to him about like being the 3rd person in our marriage. I'm like, we wouldn't even mind, honestly. But it was so funny. I was not even like prepared for that at all. But yeah, it was just like so crazy, and like just the fact that like the entire room was screaming for us, like when they said that, it was just such an amazing feeling, and it was so nice and sweet. And thank you to everybody who has said congrats to us and has recognized us from there. We appreciate it so much. I can't even, like, words can't even describe how much I appreciate it. For all the positive feedback and like sweet and kind words from you all. We can't even thank you enough. Also, thank you for watching this video. That is pretty much like my experience. Thank you guys for watching my video, and I really hope that you enjoyed and stuck with me through this retelling of my crazy and wonderful day. But thank you so much, and I love you guys, and I'll see you back on Tumblr.